What if the most terrifying monsters aren't the ones hiding in the deep woods or in the darkest oceans? What if the most terrifying thing you could ever see is something that shouldn't be able to exist at all? Something looking down at you from the sky? On May 18, 1980, the world watched as Mount St. Helens in Washington state erupted with unimaginable force. It was a geological event that tore the top off a mountain and covered the landscape in a thick blanket of gray ash. But according to some, the volcano didn't just unleash lava and smoke. It unleashed something else. Our story begins a few years later in 1994. A young man named Brian Canfield was driving his truck down a remote logging road near Mount Rainier, not far from the shadow of the infamous volcano. It was a quiet afternoon, the air still heavy with the memory of the eruption. The landscape was a strange mix of new life and old destruction. Suddenly, his truck's engine sputtered and died. He was alone, miles from anywhere. Annoyed, he got out to check under the hood. As he worked, a strange feeling washed over him, the kind of primal fear you feel when you know you are being watched. He slowly stood up, scanning the silent, ash-dusted trees. Nothing. And then he heard it, a sound that didn't belong. It wasn't a bird or an animal he recognized. It was a low, guttural whistle followed by a leathery, flapping sound. He looked up, and his blood ran cold. Soaring against the pale sky was a creature of absolute nightmare. It was the size of a large man with a muscular ape-like body covered in dark, purplish-blue fur. But its most terrifying feature was the colossal pair of bat-like wings stretching from its back, leathery and veined. Its head was a fusion of primate and bat, with a flat snout and two piercing, hypnotic yellow eyes that seemed to glow with their own internal light. The creature circled once, its yellow eyes locked on him. Brian was frozen, unable to scream, unable to move. It was Batsquatch, a legend whispered about by locals, but a terrifying reality now gliding above him. The creature let out a horrifying shriek, a sound that was part animal rage and part human scream, before banking sharply and disappearing over the tall pines. Brian scrambled back into his truck, his hands shaking so violently he could barely turn the key. This time, the engine roared to life. He didn't look back. Brian Canfield's story is not the only one. Since the eruption, other hikers, loggers, and climbers have reported seeing a similar winged monster in the Cascade Mountains. They all describe the same impossible creature, the same paralyzing fear, and the same glowing, intelligent eyes. This raises terrifying questions. Was the Batsquatch a creature that lived deep within the mountain, forced out by the fiery eruption? Is it a previously unknown species, a predator from the sky we never knew existed? Or is it something far stranger, a being from another dimension that somehow crossed over into our world through the sheer geological violence of the volcano? The only thing the witnesses agree on is that this creature is real, and it is watching. So the next time you're in the great outdoors of the Pacific Northwest and you hear a strange flapping in the sky, it might not be a bird. What do you think the Batsquatch is? An undiscovered animal or something more supernatural? Let us know in the comments below, and make sure you subscribe, because in our next video, we'll analyze other terrifying eyewitness encounters, including the one where the creature didn't just fly by.